This is Mayor Ackerman, Mayor of Fort St. John. I'm so pleased you were right there. I'm standing there. Thank you.
I'm a grandmother. I've learned to sneak up on people. It works. So thank you very much for the opportunity to be here and to the Musqueam and Slate of Tooth and Squamish First Nations for the very warm welcome. You know, it's about -6 here, and at home in that fabulous territory, the Deneza, it's -28. Feels like -41. One of the lessons we've learned from our fabulous neighbors is stay out of the wind. So to be here is, I think, one of the best opportunities, and I want to acknowledge that there are several people here in the room today. My colleagues from the Resource Municipality Coalition are here. Guys, if you just give a wave, because I'm between lunch and these people, so if I talk really fast, those are the group you want to speak to, as well as some of our First Nations folks that are here. I know Chief Wilson is here. I did see Boomer Desjardins here earlier. And I know Paulette Vermont is here as well, and several others from Northeast British Columbia. So UNDRIP and where we're at and moving forward is very multifaceted, and so it's really going to require a multi-pronged approach moving forward. And really from a municipal government level, it's community to community. It's working one-on-one. That's where we are walking around those trees looking for the scars, as JP mentioned earlier. That's where we're walking in the moccasins with them as we have these conversations, not only neighbor to neighbor, but when we're watching our children and grandchildren play hockey. Or, in the case of Chief Wilson and I, meeting at the airport all the time. Fort St. John is taking a very planned and principled approach to how we work with First Nations. We've created an addition to reserve policy, and our Director of Development is here as well, Renee, and Renee has a team of people working with 2 of our First Nations to create addition to reserve lands within the city boundaries of Fort St. John. We're really excited about that. When that package goes off to Ottawa, it will be a package that has been approved by both communities, so that when it comes back to us, it's a done deal. We've also linked our strategic plan with the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals for communities, because that's where we operate at that level. So when I speak about policy, what really makes my head spin is that in the time frame that Fort St. John has been able to build a 50-unit passive house apartment, I have my neighbors struggling to build a passive house medical building and a passive house church community center because of the policies at the senior levels of government. Come on, guys, get it together. If we can do it, you can too. They are still trying to get their treaty land entitlement finalized. We're trying to work on building a new future, and a historical wrong that needs to be corrected is still dragging its feet. We need that finalized. The City of Fort St. John co-hosted an event last summer, the Moose Hide Campaign, with Shell Canada. That was significant. We contributed some dollars to the RCMP over the last 2 years. We just reviewed our draft budget. There's more to come this year to look at the cold case files. Come on, senior levels of government. The RCMP is also your responsibility for payment too. Let's get these things done. I believe in the power of walking together. I believe that this path that we are on will bring benefits to our communities, our children, our grandchildren. When Chief McLeod was just saying that can't rely on government handouts, well, the government handouts are not increasing in value, but the cost of the services that we need to provide are. So to bring our First Nations in just makes sense. When I spoke earlier about Boomer Desjardins, Boomer and his wife Judy Desjardins own top-notch oil field contracting. And they were able to sponsor the transportation for seniors to go to their cultural camp because they could. That's about being community. When Ryan was talking about training our youth from Soto, as he mentioned, or from Blueberry, or from Doig, we're lucky if they want to come into Fort St. John, let alone coming down to XYZ institution down here. So really think about how you're providing these services to our youth. Lana talked about engagement and why and how and when it was important. Really get to understand that. Because when you're talking to communities, they are the ones that will feel the impact of those projects. And it's well worth your while to understand that completely. I thank you very much for this opportunity. I think it's great. I believe we can do better. Thank you.